Alright folks, buckle up because tonight, we're diving into the cheery world of ICE detention centers, where the welcome mat is made of razor wire, and the complimentary toiletries are a one-way ticket to despair. Now, you might think I'm being dramatic, but the numbers paint a grim picture. Get this, ICE custody deaths have doubled. Doubled! You know, like that friend who tries to impress you with their baking skills by doubling the vanilla extract, except instead of a slightly better cookie, you get a human rights disaster. It's enough to make you want to bake a very sad, very angry cake. In the last fiscal year alone, 39 people took their last breath while in ICE custody. That's 39 families torn apart, 39 lives extinguished, all while under the supposed care of a government agency. We're not talking about hardened criminals here, folks. We're talking about human beings, many fleeing unimaginable situations, hoping for a shot at a better life. Now, some folks might say, John, 39 people, that's tragic. But in a country this size, hold your horses, cowboy. Let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? Back in 2016, there were 8 deaths in ICE custody. 8! Less than a quarter of what we're seeing now. And it's not like things were hunky-dory back then. It was still a system riddled with problems, but somehow it managed to be less lethal. It's almost impressive, in a horrifying kind of way. Imagine for a second if the number of plane crashes quadrupled in 4 years. Do you think people would be okay with that? There would be congressional hearings, investigations, the whole shebang. But here's the thing about statistics. They can feel abstract, distant. So let's put some faces to these numbers, shall we? Take the heartbreaking story of Carlos Ernesto Escobar Mejia, a 57-year-old man from El Salvador who died from COVID-19 complications while in ICE custody. He had underlying health conditions that were exacerbated by the conditions in detention. Or how about Roxana Hernandez, a transgender woman from Honduras, who died from complications of HIV and pneumonia? She was fleeing violence, seeking asylum, and instead, she found death in a country that claims to be a beacon of hope. These are just 2 stories out of 39, each one a tragedy, each one a life cut short, each one a stark reminder that we're failing as a nation. Now, you might be wondering, why the surge in deaths? What's changed? Well, you see, dear viewers, that's where things get murky. Some point to overcrowding in detention centers, a problem exacerbated by the Trump administration's immigration policies. Others highlight the woeful lack of adequate medical care. I mean, we've all seen the pictures of children in cages. You think they're getting top-notch health care? Then there's the whole issue of accountability, or rather, the lack thereof. When someone dies in ICE custody, who takes responsibility? Spoiler alert. It's like trying to find a sober person at a college frat party. Everyone's pointing fingers, but no one's owning up to the mess. But here's the kicker, folks. This isn't just about what's happening within the barbed wire fences of detention centers. This is about who we are as a nation. Are we really okay with a system that treats human beings worse than animals? A system that profits from locking people up? A system that seems more concerned with deportation quotas than with basic human dignity? Because here's the truth. These deaths aren't just tragedies, they're indictments. They're a damning reflection of our broken immigration system and our own moral compass. It's time we stop treating this issue like it's someone else's problem. It's time we demand better, not just for those locked up, but for ourselves. Because a country that tolerates such injustice is a country on the brink. So what can you do? Well, for starters, stay informed. Read beyond the headlines, educate yourselves on the issue, and don't let the news cycle distract you. Contact your elected officials and tell them that you won't stand for this. Donate to organizations working tirelessly to help those caught in this broken system. Because, folks, silence is complicity. And in the face of such injustice, silence is simply not an option. Stay angry, stay informed, and most importantly, stay engaged. This fight is far from over.